just for reminder, tomorrow our class will be held by IR Muzahar, which is Ketua Jurutera Elektrik, Ketua Jurutera Elektrik Negeri Pulau Pinang. So I hope all of you, and I hope you try. You can ask your member from group Mr. Hasnizam also to join our class tomorrow at DK7. DK7, we try to fulfill all the chair in DK7, and we try to hear directly from boss of JKR lah. So related to the spec of the electrical installation design. So you can ask if you have any question, because I'm bringing to you directly boss of JKR, which is work directly related to this topic lah, installation design. So if you have any question, you can directly ask him, but we are very constrained on time since last week when we make class there before end up our time, the next class everything kat luar kan, so saya pun risau juga for tomorrow. So our session will become shortly lah esok, so maybe around 40 minutes only, because we need to close before berapa kelas kita esok? 3 to 4. So before 4 lah. Okay, so alright. Semua okay kan ni? Boleh mula kelas? Kumaran, are you there?
Yes sir.
Ada. Kita tengah buat assignment lagi. Alright, so I share my screen. So the attendance link I already paste on the chat, so you can fill up there lah. Because next week I need to present the attendance. Wait. Hello. Alright. Sekejap. Saya share. Oh, you tak dapat link eh? Okay, I'll copy back. Alright. So I paste again. Alright. So I just touch a little bit on the topic of the harmonic. A very simple topic and last topic on the power factor correction. Okay, so when we're dealing with the power factor correction, we know that one of the main reason we install power factor is we want to resolve the issue related to the harmonic. When we talk on the harmonic, so we need to know the harmonic effect lah. So one of the harmonic effect is resonance. So sorry ya, sebab sebelah bilik saya sekarang ni tengah ada jamuan hari raya, so maybe you akan dengar sedikit announcement and so on. So okay, so when we dealing with the resonance, we know that the resonance will occur when the inductive and the capacitive reactance are equal. Inductive and capacitive equal, so it's become harmonic ya. And as consequent, we shall talk on series. Okay, series resonant when inductor and capacitor are connected in series or parallel. So kita tengok macam mana the connection series and parallel nanti. Okay, and then series resonant and parallel resonant can be present in the same network. Macam I need to share this one because you will use of the connection of the parallel or series connection for your power factor correction lah. Barulah at least you know why we need to install look like this, the connection of power factor correction. Okay, harmonic, I believe that you always learn on topic lah. Okay, topic power system and so on. But today I just remind back lah. Okay, refresh back. Wait, apa hilang pula ni? Okay, if you can see from here, the fundamental signal is in green line. Okay, very smooth, kan? So, but when we deeply analyze the signal, we can find that there are some of harmonic, which is in odd lah, kan? Ganjil, nombor ganjil. So third, fifth, 7, 9, 11 and so on lah, semua tu. And if you can see the, let's say for the fundamental 50 Hz, okay, and then for the third harmonic it's become 150 Hz. Okay, and then fourth is dia makin increase kan. Okay, 250 and then and so on lah. You can see. So because of that, they are harmonic. When we dealing with the harmonic, it actually will affected our output of the signal of the electrical system. So that's why we need to cater on this fluctuation of the harmonic in order to make sure that there are no distortion of the signal into our power system. So, but until now, there are no system without any distortion from the harmonic lah. So, what we can do, we just try to control it, try to limit it only. So, if you can develop a new model, a new device that can eliminate 100% of the harmonic, so you boleh buat duit lah, you can become a rich man lah. Okay, because the whole world kan still thinking about that, on how to settle on the harmonic distortion. Okay, this is simple lah. So normal, let's say we have a signal with 100% fundamental. So in the third and fifth, we can see that there is distortion, at least 20% and 11%. That is example lah. So total distortion, we can use this formula to formulate lah. Kalau let's say we just pick only two level of harmonic distortion, which is third and fifth. Let's say we include all of this odd harmonic, so confirm our total harmonic will become more lagi lah kan. So that's the issue related to this topic lah. So we know that the other source of harmonic, which is coming from personal computer kan, you punya laptop, you punya desktop, because most of that is electronic device kan. So electronic device confirm will be produce very high harmonic. And then fluorescent lamp and gas discharge lamp. So this input also you can use for your report actually under justification kan. Kalau siapa yang belum submit report lagi sempat lagi dia edit. So because fluorescent lamp have the what we call it the ballast. So that ballast tu akan produce the harmonic, and that harmonic will be affected to the power system. And if you can discuss it about that, you can have a good mark lah on your assignment 1 kan, because you need to justify why you choose that model of lamp kan. maybe you choose LED, kan? So you can discuss how, because fluorescent have a harmonic compared to the LED with very less harmonic and so on. And then we also source of harmony also come from static converter, continuity group, variable speed drive, welding machine, arc and induction furnace, benda-benda yang panas ni. Okay, so that's some of the sources of the harmonic. And then effect from the harmonic, normally it divide by two lah. One is overload and number two is resonant. So for overload, how does the harmonic effect to become the overload happen? So the harmonic in the electrical network may be cause of malfunction of the equipment, such as in the case of overload of the neutral conductor. Okay, or of increase of losses in transformer or disturbance in torque or motor. In particular, harmonic are the phenomena which most heavily affect power factor correction capacitor, which is bila harmonic, normally when harmonic is become, so it will normally it will detect on the neutral conductor. Okay, we have phase and neutral kan. So normally the harmonic is more on the neutral. So based on that, we know that when we have a problem with neutral, so it will affect a lot of most of the what we call it, most of the output the phase loading. So if you can see that phase and neutral if not balanced, so sometimes it will affect to the another problem. And then capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to the frequency, therefore the impedance offered to the voltage harmonic decrease. Yang ni dia cerita macam mana proses berlaku. Okay, capacitance reactance is inversely proportional to the frequency. So that's therefore the impedance offered to the voltage harmonic decrease as the harmonic order increase. This means that if supplied by the stock voltage, the capacitor can draw a current of such intensity that could seriously damage them. So that the issue related to the harmonic tu. Okay. And then the number two is effect by the resonance. So resonance is we can say that still important problem occur when the linear distortion reach high value. Okay, and the danger of a resonance between power factor correction and equivalent inductor of the network become clear. So, tengok ni, saya nak tengok ada satu circuit ni sekejap. The resonance occur when the inductive and the capacitor are equal, sama macam tadi juga. As a consequence, we shall we can discuss on series resonance when inductance and capacitor are connected in series or parallel. When inductance and capacitor are connected in parallel, the series can present the same network. If you can see from here, this the okay, you can see here. This is the how we connect the capacitor bank kan. So from the bus bar, from the network, okay, we have a transformer, and from the transformer we have a bus bar here, and then normally we connect the capacitor bank directly, okay, to the transformer or bus bar. Okay. So resonance is kan occur at precise frequency which is called resonance frequency FR, frequency resonance lah. Normally when we dealing harmonic ni normally dia kacau frekuensi kan, sebab frekuensi tenang. So frequency normally we define under 1/2 pi f lah, 2 pi f kan. So f here we dealing with L and C. So L equal to XC, so we can calculate using 2 pi LC and then we can neutralize it, okay, if the series, okay, J XL tolak XC minus XC, so it should become 0, right? So that's why we connect to it become in series connection. Okay. Secondly, we can also perform it using parallel connection, which is when we by theoretical, when we divide it SL at C over J SL and minus at C, it tend to become 0 ataupun infinity lah. So even connection parallel is also possible to what we call it, to control the harmonic resonance. Okay. So dah habis dah. Okay. So this one number 2. So this why we try to explain to us how ataupun why we connect the connection of the capacitor bank. Alright, in other theoretical lah. Kalau orang tanya kenapa you all nak pasang juga why you want to install the capacitor bank and why you tap directly to the bus bar. Even you can see that connection directly bus bar, but you can explain to them that it is can be connected seriously or parallel, and you can justify it by the formula either what we call series or parallel is possible to use it. Okay, and it possible to control the effect of under resonance. Okay, so we go to the number 2. Mana slide satu lagi? Okay, this one. Okay, this is the last slide and the topic for vector correction lah. So I just touch a little bit. Since you already use it, kan? So I just want to highlight a little bit. We already discussed about it. Tak apalah, 5 slide je, please. Okay, just recap back. So why we install of the capacitor bank? So a system for it is constituted essentially by protective device. Okay, system dia lah, dia ada beberapa switching device, conductor, and one more suitable connector lah, resistor or capacitor discharge. Dia ada ini the component. So in case of automatic conversion system, so control station unit common switching in or off of the capacitor. So why the choice of protection device though? So the device used for protection capacitor shall satisfy following requirement, and ini lah kita ada 3 sebab why kita punya provide the protection. So number 1 is we need to sustain the transient current which occur when connecting and disconnecting the capacitor bank. So that's why we need to install the what we call protection lah before the capacitor. We know that before that tadi kita dah tengok kan connection series and parallel, and the last component is capacitor. So before connection to the capacitor, we need to protect it because we know that capacitor is the reactive component. If we are not protect it clearly, so it can become bomb, kan? And firstly, you need to remember that it is related to the transient. So transient is the very high rush signal or peak in a short time lah. So we need to control it. And then in particular, the instantaneous protection of the thermomagnetic and electronic trip shall not trip due to inrush current. Okay. And then number 2, we need to sustain the periodic or permanent overcurrent due to voltage harmonic and to the tolerance of the rated capacitance value. And lastly, to coordinate with any external switching. So because we know that when we're dealing with installation design, we have a lot of breaker, and when we're dealing with breaker, confirm it will have switching on and off. So when we have switching on and off, confirm it will have the inrush current. So that's why we need to install what we call it, protection device including of the breaker and also the contactor in our power factor correction system. And this is a formula, and I believe that we already discussed it. So today I just highlight back lah. Okay. So we have two formula related to the selection of the value of QC under calculation of QC kan. So last week we already calculate the value of QC. Today I just want to remind which is how come of value of 1.431 and also 1.36. We know that if our value of QC below than 100 kVAR as we calculated, and then we need to multiply by 1.43 ICN kan. So how come? So outcome tu is come from here lah, 1.3. 1.3 is we need to add consider 30% value, and then we need also calculate and then 10% plus 10% of tolerance. And then if you want to have a more detailed notes related to this, mungkin kamu tanya what number 1.3, what number 1.1, so you can see on the notes that has been uploaded by Mr. Nizam lah. And also for QC more than 100 kVAR, so we need to multiply by 1.365 kan. So why? So 30% multiplied by only 5% sajalah, 5%. Because the highest value of the higher value of the capacitor or QC, so we need to lower than value of the compared to the below than 100 kVAR. So semakin tinggi semakin bahaya kan. So we need to make sure that breaker can be work very fast. Okay. Alright, to summarize, depending on rated reactive power of capacitor bank to guarantee protection against overload, the rated current of circuit breaker shall higher than above mentioned value. So value capacitor yang value circuit breaker as normal lah, IN must be better than IB macam tu lah. And then the setting of the overload protection should be equal to the given value. So setting under PFR tu. Okay. And also the breaker lah. Kalau you ada setting, you must set to equal or to the given value. And then contactor kan. So capacitor bank are usually switched by the contactor. So normally we will install contactor to switch on the capacitor, which shall be chosen so that it operate properly. So precisely the contactor shall be sized so it can sustain the current equal to the IC max, and then it can sustain without damage the inrush current. So that's the function of the what we call it contactor. So you can use this idea in order to explain on your assignment apa power factor correction. Power factor correction I think on assignment 5 kot. So because you need to explain. So why? Because on all our assignment we have one criteria, which is you need to justify on whatever product that you have select. Contoh macam assignment 1 that you have submit today kan. So why you select that lighting kan? So why you calculate like that? Why you use 0.7 and so on. So we want to hear from you because you are a designer. Designer must have the answer on whatever he propose. Itu je kita nak dengar. Okay. So the idea you can put it from here. And then this is the sample of the connection power factor correction. Okay, let's say you can see here the last one is power factor Sorry, the whole is power factor correction system. And this is the connection, which is you can see here the three one. You nak pasang satu pun boleh, and you want to complete system because okay, this one step this one step and this is for one step. Okay, so let's say we have 3 steps here. So this is the power factor regulator, which is it will control and then this power factor regulator is connected to the line ataupun bus bar. Okay, from bus bar and connected to the power factor regulator, and it connected not directly, it must connected through the CT lah, current transformer. Kalau direct, if you connect directly cable, so confirm this power factor regulator will be blown lah. So that's why it must connected to the current transformer dulu to step down value. And then at another point, okay, yang you calculate IC max total apa semua tu, and this is the value lah, this is the item lah, kan? You ada calculate IC kan, yang every step, kan, step 1, 2, 3 sampai 6 ke, and then last kali is IC total kan, IC max total kan, that you have calculate. So this item lah yang you calculate tu, yang paling besar sekali. So this is the breaker value, and the breaker is connected directly to the supply voltage ni. Breaker boleh connect direct terus. Okay, and then the output from breaker barulah dia akan connect ke fuse ataupun MCB yang kecil lah, MCB for every step. Okay, MCB for every step, and then it will connected to the contactor, and then barulah dia connect to the capacitor. It will repeatedly lah for every step macam tu. Okay, so I need to show to you this one, at least you got the idea on what you have done for your calculation lah. Kadang-kadang you calculate everything tapi you don't understand apa yang aku calculate ni. So whatever value that you have calculated, this the real item lah. So we don't want that engineer just know on book, he know everything by calculation, but in real life he don't know anything, kan? Pergi site, bila orang tanya mana breaker, breaker apa? Saya tahu calculate pandai dapat value, okay, we need to supply 100 amp breaker. Sampai di site, orang kata yang ni ke breaker? Dia kata habis lah, salah lah, that's wrong. Itu bukan engineer yang betul lah. Okay, so before I continue on the what we call it cable, topik cable, ada apa-apa nak tanya? Do you have any question? 81 student, kenapa every week 10 apa? Around 10 19 orang tak join. Okay, I just show the rubric that we use on marking for your assignment lah. Tapi rubric ni we not share with you for assignment 1. Sorry, because rubric just finalized very last minute. But it was developed based on what Mr. Nizam share on the group WhatsApp lah. So I just show lah, just show maybe you got some idea how we are marking to your assignment 1. So we just evaluate based on 4 items, which is introduction, methodology, result and appendix. So under introduction, we will find out your introduction. Is it you highlight the problem, objective, kan, you explain a little bit lah on what are you going to do on your report. Okay, and then this we cover on CO1 and PO1 lah. Okay, this mark, total mark is 100 lah. So this marks given is 0 to 5. So it depends lah. If we can find all of this thing in your report, so confirm we give directly 5. If we cannot find anything here, so we give 0 lah. Okay, under methodology, we want to find your flow chart because normal design confirm it start from the flow chart. Based on the flow chart, so you will explain lah, kan. So flowchart and then lighting design. So under lighting design, you need to explain back lah on how you calculate kan. All these things we believe we just give very little mark based because all of these things confirm you copy from our lecture note or any theory lah kan, based on your calculation. So if have, so we give directly 5 marks. And then this part a little bit high because we want to hear from you justification lighting selection. So for every room that you have proposed, so you need to have give some justification why you set that lighting for that room and so on. So if have there, we just put it marks. Here you can see 2.3, we have two part which is contribute 20 marks. So we also want to hear from you the under economic decision where under your selection, let's say you select the LED lamp for your project. So you can explain also the selection because of when you compare the value for LED and fluorescent is what we call it, it's very good good price lah comparison kan. So LED is murah lagi daripada fluorescent kan. And then for long term also LED will be provide very cheaper bill lah compared to the fluorescent. Maybe like that lah. Okay. And then under project result, you just shows the sample calculation. Satu je lah dalam report you just shows one calculation, and the rest you just put it on your appendix, which is the Excel table. And then you need also to discussion and conclusion under your report. Okay, from after you complete your project, so you need to discuss a little bit on what you're finding. Okay, based on your design. So what do you find? And then you conclude lah. And then report format, kita tengoklah you justify tak justify, okay tak okay, what semua. And then data sheet you must input also. Data sheet, kalau you tak input data sheet, confirm we assume that you are copy from somebody and you don't understand on how to perform the design of lighting kan. Sebab data sheet, you mesti ada data sheet kan baru boleh design kan. So whatever data sheet that you use during your design, you just input it because it provide a lot of mark. Okay, and then reference, you just put some reference because you need to have reference lah during design kan. Kata buku mana you guna, standard mana you guna, you just put it something there. And then this is the highest part lah, which is layout drawing. Okay, in A3, so A3, and then the lighting design table under Excel table that you have calculate. So for this part, kalau you all tak labelkan lagi circuit dia pun, we are accepted lah. Okay, ya tadi ada dapat tanya soalan ni.
Doktor, nak tanya boleh? Macam kalau saya buat tu saya tak ikut metodologi. So tak apa.
Maksud tak ada metodologi?
Saya tak ikutnya rubrik yang sekarang ni sebab
ya betul, saya percaya memang semua orang takkan ikut kan. Semua orang tak ikut sebab saya tak bagi yang ni kan kepada kamu dan you buat based on 4 benda ni saja kan, betul?
Betul.
So kami akan carilah based on apa benda ni, kami cuba bagilah. Maka sepatutnya ada lah sikit, takkan tak ada langsung. Mesti ada kan.
Dah.
Cuma saya just explain kali ni macam mana kami bagi markah lah. Saya kamu tak puas hati pula macam mana kami dapat tinggi rendah kan. Okay, that one for assignment 1. For assignment 2 saya akan upload for today lah. Okay, I just explain siap-siap lah. Because saya tak nak jadi macam assignment 1 lagi lah. Sorry for assignment 1. Lot of discussion sampai kamu terpaksa hantar dulu baru rubrik siap. So for assignment 2, based on your sama jugalah. So you need to continue for assignment 2. Aduh lagu raya pula dah kau. Okay, you need to develop balance load for all distribution board design lah. So you kena buat balance load macam lab 3 yang kau buat baru ni kan. Benda yang sama je. You just perform and then you just complete dia lah. Cuma you need to add the aircon consumption kan. Sebab dalam drawing tu you dah buat lighting and then socket we already provide to you kan. And then you need to find also the aircon consumption on your drawing tu, layout yang that we provide. Firstly, you need to assume centralized aircon is 40% from total load. Let's say total load kamu semua tu 100 kan. So your aircon is 40% daripada 100 lah. Kan? You need to add. Ni under centralized, and the number 2 is a split unit aircon. Yang ni you need to calculate lah. You need to find. Okay. Kalau if you find out on your socket layout, it label with 15 amp kan. So you just assume it is 1 horsepower aircon. So 1 horsepower equal to 746 watts kan. You need to add on your calculation ni lah. Kalau if you let's say you find out 20 amp is equal to 2 horsepower, 30 amp is equal to 3 horsepower. Boleh? So just saya tunjuk contoh satu Saya kamu confused pula. Let's say apa? Okay, you open your drawing power. You just check lah from here kan. You check here. I believe ICT mana ada icon. Okay, let's say here it label 15 amp. So this one we assume it is for aircon, and then from this label you find out lah on your okay, contoh macam ni kan, bilik Swiss kan. Sikitnya aircon split ini lah. So kalau sikit okey lah, no problem lah. You just calculate lah. Okay, macam ni dia dah ada ni AC you can calculate directly. Okay, so this example lah. And then this one you need to calculate one by one lah. Okay, 1 horsepower, you total up. And then for the whole building we assume it also have the centralized unit. So you just add up 40% from total load. Itu. Okay, settle. Assignment 2, okay. And then the rubric is same with the assignment 1 lah. Okay, we just mark your assignment based on introduction, design, method, result and appendix lah. Okay, so most of them same with assignment 1 punya ni lah. So we want to help justification related to your project. Okay, so I will upload this we call this rubric shortly lah, maybe today after I'm last discussion with Mr. Hasizam and Mr. Faizul. Okay, boleh ya? Any question tak?
Sir.
Ya.
Untuk essential kita kena kira sekali dulu.
Essential. Contoh.
Essential punya macam soket essential kan, atau lampu essential.
Kau sekali lah, sebab kamu tak perlu decide untuk genset pun.
Sekali ya.
Sebab essential normally yang tu dia akan pergi dekat genset kan. Sekarang ni kita anggap essential tu macam load biasa juga.
Okay sir.
Right. Okay, kalau tak ada apa-apa saya masuk saya cari notes kabel kejap. Okay, saya just masuk little bit lah dekat mana yang sempat lah. Okay, under topik
Last soalan boleh sir?
apa? Ya.
So maksudnya untuk assignment 2 tu,
Okay.
kita buat table TCL tu macam mana?
Ya, table TCL. Saya tunjuk contoh macam mana orang dah buat ni contoh. Macam ni je yang you need to perform. Yang ni je. Yang ni Excel. Excel ni lah macam contoh DB power kan. Yang ni yang dinamakan table power tu. Okay, yang ada red, yellow, blue and then you kena buat ni for this one for every DB. Contoh DB power and then you kena make sure yang ni lah load, balance load ni lah within red, yellow, blue tu. Ni nampak macam tak over balance ni kan. 16 dengan 20 nampak macam terlampau banyak lah, tinggi juga kan. Yang ni. And then under drawing kan, dalam drawing layout you need to label this one. Contoh R1 kan, to gang. So dalam layout you must mana AutoCAD ya? Dalam AutoCAD drawing you must have the label R1. Contoh P ni kan, power R1. Kita nak tengok lah dekat soket tu, under soket you must label R1. We as a evaluator we will check lah. Katakan you submit nanti, so kami check balik. Okay, you kata DB power label R1 dia ada 2 gang dengan quantity 2 kan. So we will check lah, kita tengok betul. Kalau salah lah. Kalau betul okey lah, tak ada masalah. Ini konsep dia. Kalau lighting, ni lighting, contoh macam ni lighting. So RYB, so for R1 dia ada 2/36. So kan ada quantity 4. So kita tengoklah dalam circuit kamu tu, you must label R1 lah. Lighting kan, dekat lighting tu, kat lampu tu you labelkan R1. So kami senang lah kami check. Kalau kamu tak labelkan, tu susah lah. Kamu menyusahkan kami, saya jadi susah habis. Okay. So socket I believe that dia dah bagi dah siap-siap kan. Cuma you try double check if they are missing label, you can add up balik lah. You bagi match dengan your project. The label. Okay.
Schematic diagram tak perlu kan sir?
Yang ni schematic diagram assignment 3. Habis je yang ni, load ni, okay. Kamu submit ni dulu. You buatlah report dulu kan. Lepas tu saya akan, bila submit je assignment 2, saya akan bagi soalan assignment 3. Assignment 3 related to schematic diagram. So schematic diagram mesti follow yang Excel yang kamu buat ni kan. Kalau tak sama, nampak sangat lah dia punya tu problem nanti kan. Dia ada kesinambungan for every assignment ni. Okay, clear. So cable sizing assignment 4. Bila dah you buat schematic diagram dah siap semua tu, tinggal 4 part yang bahagian submin saja. You tak perlu macam ni, you dah buat cable sizing kan, tapi ni cable sizing on load saja last. Lepas MCB kan. Tapi sebelum MCB, that one you need to submit for assignment 4 lah, assignment 4 lah. Okay, last kali assignment 5 substation design. So you need to calculate lah size transformer, size VCB and so on lah. Yang tu. Okay. So itulah yang akan apa yang berlaku dengan assignment you all. Saya believe that most of student from diploma dia orang dah biasa buat dah yang ni semua. Cuma dia orang dah buat complete report je kan. Cuma sekarang ni just separate by topik lah macam tu.
Sir, assignment 2 hantar bila?
Ya, betul. Assignment apa?
Assignment 2 hantar bila?
30 Mei.
Okay.
Kalau ikutkan ni seminggu siap dah, tak ada apa-apa ni. Apa dah buat dah. Okay, sebab from my ni lah, my plan start from week 10. We need to start our presentation lah. Okay, so macam mana kita nak buat grup mana yang mula dulu? Kita nak buat undian ke ataupun ada sukarela ke apa tu? Kita akan bagi lah. So siapa yang start grup apa? Start dulu, dia akan start dengan topik lighting lah. Kan, sebab kita akan Siapa topik last kali kena tu dia kena topik yang last lah, macam tu lah. Based on assignment jugalah. Dia present based on assignment lah, project dia. Sebab let's say for week 10, we cannot ask for substation because substation will not covered yet kan. So saya akan buat jadual lah nanti. Saya akan upload dalam, I will upload on the group, the table for presentation session lah. So I will start siapa yang nak volunteer first, maybe for one day for volunteer, and then kalau tak ada, so I will choose lah. I will discuss with Mr. Nizam. We will choose lah which group. Okay, because we need we cannot have a lot of time for presentation session kan, because we will use only 2 hours during lab session only. So we will try to utilize that time for presentation of the project lah. Okay, if we waiting for last minggu ke-15 week 15, so confirm we cannot finish all of your group lah. Okay, so at least 30 minit per group lah presentation. Presentation sikit yang Q&A yang banyak tu. Alright. So ada apa-apa lagi nak tanya? Before we start little bit on cable. Okay.
Satu je sir.
Okay.
Maksudnya kan kita buat untuk table TCL tu.
Cable TCL,
So
okay.
drawing untuk lighting dengan soket pun hantar lagi sekali.
Kami nak yang ada label tu saja. Kan kamu hantar sekarang ni assignment 1 belum ada label kan? Nombor ring for circuit kan? Circuit tu ada kan? So untuk assignment 2 markah kita bagi, kalau kamu pasal pemakahan tu layout drawing tu kita nak tengok macam mana you marking lah, label tu lah. Sebab kalau you tak bagi drawing, kami nak tengok Excel tu mesh dengan drawing tu tak boleh kalau tak ada nanti. Kita nak tengok yang tu je untuk assignment 2 ni.
Okay sir, faham sir. Okay.
Kalau you rasa beban lah printing di luar tu, you boleh pergi print dekat lab kita dekat lab yang kita buat lab ni lah. Ada machine photostat tu, so machine photostat tu can print A3. So macam mana nak print, you deal dengan technician situ lah. Okay lah. Okay, other question? Sekarang baru nampak macam buat kerja kan. Bila dah start buat assignment baru dia nampak. Sebab sebelum ni dia tak buat, dia tak nampak lagi. Alright, so saya ingat semua dah okay kot. Okay, buat dulu. Kalau ada apa-apa masalah, okay, for group with mana ini blok pusat latihan dan blok makmal. Drawing for socket little bit problem. Bukan problem lah, not label with 15M because the legend for socket is missing. So for this for group that dealing with blok pusat latihan and blok makmal, so I suggest that ini dia orang punya project lah. So let's say for this ni kan. Okay, kalau macam ni dia ada 30M ni, this one isolator you can assume it as macam ni lah. Apa yang saya mention tadi sorry. Isolator ni, that one nanti kamu assume sebagai icon pula. No, this one for isolator at major tau. That one not for icon. Itu saya nak kena explain juga ni. So for project ni kamu just let's say for mana dia? For this one kan. For split unit icon, for group project 3 and 4 lah. Kan. So you just find out okay, icon for macam bilik-bilik ni lah. Simple bilik. Okay, contoh macam ni, you just decide only one apa? Normally bilik PLV lah, bilik PLV. Let's say okay, bilik jurutera. Okay, let's say you have 4, 5, 6. So you just decide one only, one socket for aircon. Okay, macam ni dia dah ada dah ni. Sorry, Siri kacau. Okay, so this one okay. So macam bilik yang tak ada tu you kena decide. Okay, yang ni dia just letak switch saja aircon, kan? Tapi soket kita tak tahu yang mana satu, kan? Sebab actually it have a separate drawing for aircon. So since we cannot find that drawing, so for this group kena rajin sikit lah. Okay, you check, double check, you jumpa your switch ni. If you can find this switch AC, so you can set that this room have aircon. Okay, 1 horsepower aircon, and you just select from, let's say, from all of this socket in this room, you just select one socket. Okay, you just change it to become aircon lah. Okay, you change it to become aircon. Okay, alright. So the rest ni you jangan tukar kepada aircon pula ah. All this one is for power. You just check ni contoh you jumpa okay switch for aircon, so you set for this one is for aircon. Macam tu. Okay lah. So the rest group is should be no problem. Only for group project number 3 and number 4 aja. Yang the rest you can directly lah. Contoh macam ni ya. Group 14. Mana dia? Kosong. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's say for this group 12 kan. So you just check with label, mana ada bilik professor. Okay, so you have clearly circuit label with aircon, so you know lah. Okay, so label ni you just directly 1 horsepower kan. Okay, this one clear. Most of the drawing have like that, except group 3 and 4. Okay lah. So if you have any problem related to this issue, you can ask me or Mr. Nizam and also Mr. Faizul lah. Okay, I hope you can start with this assignment 2 lah this week lah. Alright. Okay lah, boleh ya? Boleh ya? Kita start topik baru. So power factor correction dah settle. So kalau if you think that you want to add some more for your assignment 1 tu, so saya I can wait for your assignment until this evening lah. Okay, petang ni lah, sampai petang ni. You can submit. Kalau saya tak ada, you can just put in front of my room. Okay. So we start mana ada cable. Okay, so today we continue. Sepatutnya we start tak apalah. Okay, we start sebab video saya nanti susah kamu nak cari ya nanti topik ni, tak apalah. Okay, so we continue on chapter 5, which is cable selection and wiring system. And whoever just joined my lab last week, so I already covered little bit on how to make the cable selection and wiring system. So because you need to deal for assignment 4 related to this topic. Okay. So for introduction, cable distribute from one point to another point. Itu maksud kabel. So kabel tu maksud penghantaran tenaga elektrik daripada from one point to another point. That's function for cable. So cable can be defined as length of insulated single conductor, okay, or 2 or more conductor. So conductor pengalir lah. So if it can be single or multiple lah conductor. Width its own insulation which are laid up together. So cable, if you can see from the construction of the cable, you can see it have a conductor and also insulator. So insulator penebat lah, kan, penebat. If the cable without insulator, confirm it, kan, it will have a short at the earlier. So that's why during the installation, we always take care on the insulation condition, because weak insulation will be affected of the circuit, especially short circuit. So the insulated conductor the insulated conductor or conductor may not or be provided with outer covering for mechanical protection. Sometime lah. Okay. A single core cable refer to a cable that only one insulated. Yalah, single core only one je lah. Okay. Own cable sheet and multi-core cable refer to cable that multiple core. Kalau kabel yang ada satu core saja tu, maksudnya only have one conductor and only one lah. Let's say you have label contoh single core, phase rate only, kan. If you can cut out your cable from extension, your cable extension tu, that one we call it by 3 core or multi-core. Okay, multi-core lah itu, multi-core cable. Okay, your cable extension kan, you nampak satu, but if you cut it, you can find out it won't have a three color kan. It have a neutral with blue color, brown for live cable and green for earth cable. Okay, and it was insulated with the yang color kelabu tu, with grey color, that was insulated lah. And for single cable tu, we can call it a single core. Let's say for blue color kan, blue color, the blue color is the insulator, and then the wire under the insulator, that one is a conductor, and we call it one core and 7 strand. Dia ada dalam tu dia ada banyak dawai tu kan, jalur tu, strand lah, we call it strand lah. It have 3 strand, 5 strand, 7 strand, and many strand lah. Okay, and the number of strand of the conductor that differentiate between type of cable. Tu contoh macam you pergi kedai, you go to the shop and want to buy cable, multi-core cable your extension lah. And then the shop will give you some sample. So which one you need to select. So and the price confirm different lah. So different, you can check the number of the conductor, the number of cable yang bukan cable, conductor yang copper. And the cheapest one confirm it only have 3 strand. Okay, the highest cost confirm it has many strand, at least 7. Okay, and then cable is essential part of communication, security and control system. So normally we use it for communication kan, cable yang lain lah. Okay, and then another for security and also the control system, control lah. Kita nak hantar signal kan, how to transmit signal without cable. So nowadays we can use wireless kan, Wi-Fi kan. So but some signal still cannot transfer wirelessly, so still must use cable. Okay, for conductor, okay, we need to know a little bit theory under cable ni. Okay, so conductor, we have some type of the material for conductor. Okay, it have silver, copper, gold, aluminium and tungsten. So normally you can find is 1.72 ni lah resistivity, which is copper. Copper is good and And then you can use also gold. But confirm what you call it, most of the your cable will be hilang lah kan. The thief will take it earlier. Okay, so that's why you can find it mostly cable is coming from copper and silver. Okay, silver and then aluminium kan. Copper, aluminium lah selalu kita jumpa, copper and aluminium only. Alright, the rest very rare to find. Okay, the ability of material to be good or bad of electrical depend on composition of material. Resistivity. This one. This value of resistivity is reflect to the selection of the material. Okay. Okay, conductor may be divided into two groups, which is solid conductor and stranded conductor. So solid conductor, which is circular or rectangular in cross section, and then used for fixed wiring. Yang ni solid conductor sahaja. Okay, and then circular conductor are restrict mainly to cable core up to 2.5 mm. Okay, dia punya solid satu tu saja. Only one core cable, and then it's not combined with any stranded kan. Stranded as I mentioned earlier, dia ada 3, 5, 7 and so on. Okay. Although cross-sectional area up to 25 mm are sometimes used in trunking, most from the ground floor to the top floor of block flat to provide supply point for each floor. So during your for your assignment nanti, so you need to justify also lah. You want to use which type of cable, especially conductor lah. Okay, let's say you want to use 2.5 mm. So it is a solid conductor or stranded. So you need to explain a little bit lah. Okay, rectangular conductor, normally we call it bus bar lah. Okay, are used in distribution board, especially construct bus bar. That one is not related into our topic lah, because we are on what we call it cable topic, cable. Okay, even the function is same, bus bar and cable is same function to transfer energy from one point to another point. But this topic only covered on the cable. Okay, this is the sample of the bus bar. Kan? I believe that most of you already seen it before, bus bar. And then this is actually not a cable. This is the what we call a conductor ataupun down drop nya tu, earding tu. But this picture just want to show the sample of the single core solid of the conductor. Okay, conductor construction. So let's say stranded conductor. Okay, we have stranded ya. Ni ada berapa banyak ni dalam ni. So it used in both fixed wiring and flexible cord, and then the latter being flexible, not exceeding 4 mm in cross sectional. So tak boleh lebih 4. And then conductor for fixed wiring up to 25 mm have 7 strand. Ni dalam standard. It have a state under standard. Conductor for fixed wiring start from 1.5 mm up to 25 mm must be 7 strand. But if you find on the kedai shop, they don't follow this 7 strand. They also can sold by only 3 strand. Actually, you can try. You go to the shop and then you just check how many strand there. So that's the factory play on how to get a cheap price. Okay. For example, 6 mm conductor have 7 strand each. Ni dia punya size lah, dia punya dalam tu. So conductor of CSL booth has more strand depending on size. So flexible cord have conductor comprise a great many fine strand. So this type of conductor give the conductor is flexible quality. Okay, so this is the insulation and this is the stranded and then this is sheet. Wait. Okay, your friend kacau lah. Okay, dia nak hantar assignment. Sampai mana kita tadi? So we continue. Insulation lah, we continue for the insulation. So cable are usually classified according to the type insulation used. The type of insulation to be used must have following properties. So make sure selection of the cable insulation. We must check at least the high specific resistance, high dielectric strength, tough and flexible, and not be hygroscopic. And it should not absorb moisture from air or surrounding. And then it also must be capable of standing high temperature, and then not inflammable, attacked by acid or alkali, and capable of withstanding with high rupturing voltage. So these some criteria that normally we check during the selection of the type of insulation for our cable. Okay, for the non-inflammable normally is just for for MICC cable, which is a cable for generator set. Okay, kalau if you select in non-inflammable cable insulation for normal cable, so confirm lah your project will be burst. Okay, because this will affect on cost. And then the major insulation in general power are either thermoplastic or elastometric. Okay, thermosetting. So please remember, okay, we only have two type insulation, either thermoplastic or thermosetting. So thermoplastic is reflect to the PVC. Tolong ingat lah, please remember, thermoplastic is PVC. Bahasa senang lah sebab because normally when we dealing with the we call it the data sheet, okay, so we cannot find wording of the thermoplastic and thermosetting. Okay, so but you can Google it lah. Okay, today I just help you to become easy to understand. So thermoplastic actually it is the PVC, and the thermosetting is specifically for XLPE, which is underground cable. Okay, just two type of the insulation selection. Clear? So I hope hampa ingat ni, tolong ingat, please remember. And then under thermosetting is one which return rapidly to the approximate initial dimension and shape after deformation at room temperature by weak stress. So ini yang tinggi punya insulation, very good insulation lah. Example of the material ni including lah SLPE as I mentioned, EPR, PCP, CSP and SR. So that is some type of the thermosetting punya material lah. Okay, but most type material that we are using under our project cable is cross-linked polyethylene lah, which is SLPE. Nak senang ingat tu lah, thermosetting SLPE. Okay. And then the EPR and SLP are the most common, ni as I mentioned lah kan, because they combine the flexibility and electrical properties of natural rubber with higher operating temperature. Okay, so nanti jangan terkejut kan, normally when you dealing with underground cable for TMB, confirm they will ask for SLPE type cable. Okay, JKR maybe they still accept SWA, single wired armored. Okay, that one still under thermosetting. And then example of thermoplastic, which is I mentioned earlier, is this is the PVC, polyethylene PE ataupun polypropylene PP. But yang ni orang buat plastik ni kan, dua type ni buat plastik. Normally we use the PVC type cable. If you can find the data sheet of the cable, normally you will find the word PVC type lah kan. And then PVC is the most usual insulation because uncomplex processability, and then and good general purpose, and also the economic advantages lah. Kalau you pergi kilang pun, most of the factory they develop cable, they are using PVC lah because of costing. Okay, by costing and also fulfill the standard, so that's why the PVC is mostly you can find out lah. So by adjustment of formulation, PVC compound can meet a variety of requirement. Their robustness, relative chemical, ni macam-macam you can read lah all of this part. But this part is important. PVC harden at temperature below 10 degrees but will recover flexibility on returning to the normal ambient temperature. So general purpose PVC compound are limited to maximum conductor operating temperature of 70 degrees Celsius. So why I said important, because during the selection of cable, you need to know which ambient temperature are related during calculation size of cable nanti. So that's why you need to have these ideas or this what we call it maximum operating temperature of cable. This is 70 degrees. Kalau tak, if not, you will select the wrong table for selection of the cable later. And then it also elastomatic compound are advanced for long-term operation, temperature higher than those PVC can tolerate. Okay, for long term lah. So that's why you can see that the PVC cable, it can be used up to 15 years, 15 tahun. So under JKR standard, the wiring for all building of government, it was suggested to replace after 15 years. Selepas 15 tahun baru diminta buat wiring semula. So but most of the building and most of the wiring is can up to 30 years. Cuba cek rumah kamu dah berapa tahun dah sekarang ni, adakah wiring tu dah ditukar? Kan? So check how many years that wiring sekarang. So and most of them are PVC, so that shows that the PVC are advantageous for long term operation lah, because of the elastomeric compound. Okay, so for SLP, it can be operate up to 90 degree continuously, and silicon rubber at 150 continuously. So that's why for underground, because we know that for underground and for the high load capacity, so we use the insulation type of SLPE because it can withstand for a long time with the higher temperature. So elastomer are also the first choice where flexibility combined with mechanical ruggedness is required. And then application for this type for material range between flexible cord for domestic flat iron, fixed wiring and power cable, and flexible trailing cable for mines and quarries. Ini tengoklah, it depend on the application during the selection of the cable. So you must check That's why this term you must refer to your project. Let's say your project just for makmal kan, for laboratory. And then you can see some lab it have a isolator which is maybe 20 or 30 isolator. So meaning that load require a high ampere. So you must provide a very good cable to cover on that load. If you just provide very simple or low range of the cable, so it will tend to the short circuit. Okay. Alright. So sheeting pula. Sheet yang kat luar tadi. Okay, kalau if you can refer back to the this is the sheet. Okay, the last one. Okay, we have a conductor, we have insulator, and the last one we have sheet. Kan as sheet tadi tu sheet. Sheet is properly the term that apply to the metallic component over the insulation of cable. So various metal may be used as sheet metal of cable such as lead, copper, aluminium, bronze, and steel. So the choice of sheeting material depend on environment performance. And then method for consideration are ambient, flexible, resistant, water, oil, and other chemical. And then the sheeting material must also chemical compatible. And the insulation are chosen primarily for their electrical characteristic, sheet, and selected on physical properties. Okay, Ahmad, the second part. Ahmad ni Ahmad perisai. So this one only have for underground cable. So Ahmad is required when cable are not installed in conduit or trunking. So let's say you want to design a cable from SSB to MSB, which is the MSB is located to the another block. So when it have that situation, so you must use the underground cable kan. You cannot let the underground using conduit or trunking. So you must use the underground So when you want lead the cable underground, so you need to use cable come with the armored cable. Okay, so most commonly provided by galvanized steel wire So tak ada picture dia. It have a steel wire at the outside of the cable. Okay, helically applied in single layer as known as SWA. So that's why when you choosing the cable underground, normally labeled by PVC, stroke SWA, PVC. So when you see the SWA, you know that is a single wired armored. So it function to become a safety for the cable and also it can be used as a grounding. So most type of power cable require mechanical protection. So this is for mechanical protection sebab dia ada macam dawai tu. Okay. Before let's say for the kapal korek kan. Kapal korek tu bahasa Inggeris apa? Kan? Case tu kan. Let's say he don't know there are cable laid underground kan, dalam tanah kan. So tak ada siapa tahu. So when they put kan correct kan, they correct and then touch the single wire, so you know lah, so it is still safe compared to cable without SWA. So directly touch to the conductor, so confirm the driver of the kapal korek tu akan will be die due to short with current kan. So most type of cable power require mechanical ni. Most distribution cable is provided by SWA, okay. And then cable with aluminium sheet seldom require armored. So normally yang copper lah, copper we cover with the armored. And then cable with lead sheet may be armored with steel tape, which is cheaper. This one. And then steel tape is normally protect against corrosion by bitumen. But if better corrosion resistance is required, the tape may be galvanized. So this is some type of the what we call it, armored punya sample lah. So one additional mechanical or tensile strength is need as for river crossing, kan, coal miners or long vertical run, a double layer of steel wire. You must select this one lah, double layer steel wire. Okay, double layer steel wire. So but I believe that from all of your project kita tak ada lah, we don't have this cable for river crossing, coal mines and long vertical run, tak ada kan. So you can use a normal cable, but maybe after this you are working as a consultant or engineers, you need to design maybe sometime some project related to this issue. So you need to remember that you must provide a double layer of steel wire. Okay. And then single core AC cable are rarely armored, but if armored is necessary, it can be provided by non-magnetic tape of wire. Normally aluminium lah. Single core ni jarang lah kita jumpa kan. Okay, and this is the sample lah. Let's say 2 core, you have macam kabel biasa lah, kabel plug biasa tu, you have live and neutral. Normally, okay. 3 core, we have 3 cable, RYB, and then 4 core, RYB and neutral. Last one tu macam biasa, PVC jacket, we have filler, we have conductor, we have insulator. Okay lah. So the insulator just cover the face conductor. Okay, and then this one is a conductor, and then it was covered by the insulation, and then the filler is just coming from paper, and then it just to fill up the cable to make sure it fit and tak bergerak-gerak lah, to function filler tu. And then the last one is a jacket, the last cover to cover, and that one we don't call it as a insulator, we just call it by PVC jacket lah. But the function is still for insulation. And last one for multiple core, multi-core atau something kan. So RYB and green ni apa panggil, earth and neutral. So that's why we have 5 core. But normally we don't set 5 core, we just call it by multi-core lah. Okay, so yang bawah ni kita panggil multi-core. Okay, Antina, you have any question? So saya nak check sampai mana, saya takut panjang pula. Alright, so we just cover until mi cable lah. Right. So general wiring cable. So domestic and commercial use this cable, okay, for your project, which may be clipped direct to a surface, sunk in plaster or installed in conduit. So make sure your method of installation not use a clip direct. So our project is use install in conduit or trunking only. So we use this PVC type. And then it is simplest and least expensive cable, okay, compared to the another type. So we use PVC cable. And then the conductor are covered by colored, coded, PVC insulated, and then contains single or with other in PVC outer sheet. Outer sheet ni. So senang untuk easy for us for marking and so on. That's why JKR also agree to use it for standard wiring. So we use PVC with color lah. Contoh, let's say for 3 phase. So they apply red, yellow and blue cable using PVC cable lah. And then for earthing is green color and neutral with black color. So PVC SWA cable. So PVC SWA cable, steel wire armored, are used for wiring underground. Okay. So let's say you have 2 block. Okay. Within 2 block is not connected. If you have a building are connected, it's okay. You can you just use PVC, no need SWA. But let's say you have a separate building, so confirm you are needed to use underground cable. So when you're dealing with underground cable, either you select PVC SWA or PVC or XLPE SWA kan. So you need to find it. Okay, from main supply to dwelling, rising submain and industrial installation. So this is related to your project. Okay, and then they are used where some mechanical protection of the cable connector is required. Okay, confirm lah because we need the mechanical protection because we install underground and we are care about the workers. Maybe they use cangkul kan, cangkul tanah nak tanam sayur ke apa ke. So maybe they put out the strength from mechanical part to the cable, so safe. So the conductor are covered with color coded as I mentioned earlier, and then around this sheet is placed an armored protection of steel wire twisted along the length of cable, and final PVC sheet covered by the steel wire protect from the corrosion. And that's why we use the steel wire because the steel wire is not corrosion lah. Dia tak karat. So dia design the cable, underground cable with that lah. And then the armored sheet also provide the CPC, and the cable is simply terminated using compression gland. So that the another good we are using the SW, which is the SWA ni. We can use it as a ground cable also. CPC is stand for circuit protective conductor. Kan? I believe that most of you already label it for lab kan. You try to type for lab. And also for your assignment 1, 2 and 3 after this, confirm you need to label CPC and you must know what does meaning by CPC. Because confirm you will be asked, not during the Viva session, maybe the other session lah. Okay, this is the construction of a PVC SWA cable. So if you can see that we have a conductor, we have an insulation, and then this is the inner, and then this is the SWA lah, steel wire tu. Okay, if you got some time, you try to Google PVC SWA cable. So you just check, you can see the real cable or SWA ni apa dia. You can clearly see what does meaning by steel wire armored. Kalau nak juga, you can come to our lab. I can bring to you because I already buy from TMB. A real cable, underground cable from TMB. I just bought it and you can see there. Kalau you nak try potong pun boleh, no problem. Okay, the another type of cable is a MI cable, MI cable. So MI is reflect to the mineral insulated MI. So and has seamless copper sheet which make it waterproof and fire and corrosion resistant. So yang ni memang mahal gila kabel ni. So this characteristic often make it the only cable choice for hazardous or high temperature installation such as oil refineries and chemical work, boiler, houses, furnace, petrol plant and fire alarm installation. So kalau let's say your project is related to this some of type of project, so you must use MI cable. Okay, so the cable has small overall diameter when compared to the PVC cable. Okay, so normally cable color orange. Okay, normally kalau nak jumpa at Unimap, you can go to the genset room, you can find a cable with orange color. So that one is the MI cable, mineral insulated. Okay, because the genset is a very what we call it, the hottest cable lah, hottest ampere kan, temperature kan. So that's why we require Mi cable lah. So the copper outer sheet provide the CPC. Okay. And then the cable is terminated with a port and scale with compound and compression gland. So it have what we call it accessories related to the Mi cable ni. Dia tak boleh pakai the others because it have a different and okay, and we must use a compression gland. We must compress connection tu. And then embedded with white powder dalam cable tu. If you open it, if you cut out the cable, you can find out it also have white powder, magnesium oxide, which are non-aging and non-combustible but hygroscopic. Determination of Mi cable is complicated process requiring the electrician to demonstrate high level practical skill and expertise for the termination to be successful. So saya pun tak cakap untuk termination using Mi cable ni. Normally person who have a PW4 they are dealing with Mi cable ni because very rare, tak ramai yang orang deal with this cable. Okay. So this is a sample of the Mi cable. If you can see, it have two connector there, separate by two, and you have sealing this seal lock ni kan, tak begitu. And then connector magnesium dalam ni dia masukkan powder, okay, and then sealing port is seal tak bagi masuk tu. So that's why this connector are very tahan kan compared to the other because it was covered and sealed with the outer cable sheet. Okay, so that's a sample of cable Mi cable. So that's all. That one is not related to you. So I just finished earlier for today because I'm not very focusing. I cannot focus due to sambutan hari raya behind on my room, my office. So I'm still waiting for your assignment 1. You can submit it by only today. Okay. So tomorrow don't forget to come earlier at DK7. Ask your friend from group Mr. Nizam to join us also. We try to learn from the JKR. Okay, please prepare one or two question. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
So nanti yang assignment ni boleh submit sampai pukul berapa?
Sampai pukul 6.
Okay, baik sir, thank you.
Alright.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Ya.
lab untuk hari Jumaat ni ada ke?
Kita lab dah habis dah. So tapi kalau ada siapa yang bermasalah, you after this we will use time for lab for presentation. But I'm planning start from week 10 lah. Before tu kalau kita nak guna for discussion, you can use it. Maybe you got some problem for your project kan, so you just contact your lecturer, saya ke, Cik Zam ke, no problem. We are free to help all of you. Okay? Okay, no?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Lab habis dah. Okay.